welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, and this is a special edition where our focus is on the IPOs front. The company on our radar in this video is Protean eGov Technologies. The IPO is underway, 490 crore rupees initial public offering that kicked off on November 6. Today is the last date for subscription. Protean is one of the key IT-enabled solutions companies in India that's engaged in developing, executing nationally critical and population-scale greenfield technology solutions, and works very closely with operations like PAN, Aadhaar, tax filing, NPS, all of these verticals. And through this issue, the company aims to raise about 490 crore rupees from the capital markets, which is a complete offer for sale, by the way. The selling shareholders include a lot of funds, including HDFC Bank. We also have 361 Special Opportunities Fund, Axis Bank, Deutsche Bank, and even Union Bank of India, and more as well. Now, the company, if you see the IPO subscription figures, they've been very strong in the first 2 days. It already got fully subscribed on day one, over 1 times kind of a subscription in what we saw. Then 3.2 times of a subscription is what we saw on day 2. And the subscription figures also continue to go strong on the 3rd day as well. Joining in now to discuss more details about what the company really does, what is the business model, to help you really understand, is this an IPO or is something that you should also keep on your radar as well. Mr. Suresh Sethi now joins in. He's the MD and the CEO of Protean eGov Technologies. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Let's kickstart by understanding your business model, sir, because the company that you have is a very unique company. It has a very unique business as well. Not many companies do we interact on a day-to-day basis which are from the traditional field. But tell us more about your own company. What do you do? What is the business like? And what kind of verticals you have, and how do you draw the revenues from the business that you do? Mr. Sethi, can you hear me? Okay, you're unable to hear me? All right, we'll try and fix that. In the meanwhile, we'll just tell all our viewers a little bit more about Protean eGov. Remember, it's a 490 odd crore rupees IPO. And of course, what we have seen is that it's a complete offer for sale. So the company itself is not going to be getting any of the money over here. It's just the selling shareholders which are getting an exit here. And the company is looking for more visibility with this listing as well. Remember, this is the company that was initially known as NSDL eGov as well, and it has been renamed as Protean eGov, something that we will also try and understand from the management as to why the name was changed, what is the company's vision. All right, Mr. Sethi is back with us. Mr. Sethi, my first question to you is to help all our viewers really understand more about the company, the business model, and help us understand the kind of business that you're in.
Sure. Sakshi, thank you. Thanks for having me here, and would be glad to talk about the company and the business model. As you rightly mentioned, this company has been contributing to national digital public infrastructure for the last 28 years. Our first e-governance project of significance was the time when we were mandated to modernize the taxation in the country and the tax infrastructure. And at that point of time, the company also got the mandate for issuance of the national tax ID, which is the PAN card. And as we speak, we today host the national PAN card database. And we also provide services, authentication services on the PAN card, where we serve a large part of the BFSI, the fintech industry, for any sort of digital bank account opening, any sort of transaction in capital markets, which is above a certain value, property transactions. So there's a host of activities we perform on top of our PAN card national database. So that was, in a way, our starting point for working with the government on various e-governance projects. Over the last 2 decades plus, we have contributed into 19 plus national e-governance stacks. Worked across multiple ministries ranging from telecom to finance to skilling and education to working more with the tax department. The second large business as we run today is in the space of pension. We became the first central record keeping agency in the country way back in 2009 to host the National Pension Scheme. Subsequently, the same CRA also is now providing services to Atal Pension Yojana, which is the flagship pension scheme for the economically weaker sections of the society. And if you look at it today, it's a 3-player market. We run this business under a license from the pension regulator, and we have a 98% market share in the National Pension Scheme and 100% market share under Atal Pension Yojana. So it's a large business for us. We have a dominant position on that, and we maintain the country's national pension database. The other line of business, which is equally significant for us, is in the space of ID services, whereas a agency licensed service from UIDAI, we provide all the authentication and KYC services to the BFSI industry. So when you're opening a bank account or you're doing any sort of authentication to withdraw money using your Aadhaar identity, we are the company behind it, and we give the opportunity to the consumers to perform those activities. So we've been enabling Digital India from day one, and that's been the thrust of the company. As we look forward, these are our three large businesses today. The company took a sharp diversification view in 2021, and we are now also working number one in multiple open digital ecosystems in line with the Government of India policy to build nodes, or what are called as the national open digital ecosystems, in multiple sectors of the economy. So we are contributing to digital commerce and mobility under ONDC. We are contributing to the digital public infrastructure in agriculture, health, and education. The second line of business for us is what we are building on top of our ID services, which is doing a vertical integration and building a data and allied services businesses, leveraging our account aggregator license, another license we got and became operational this year. So that is one play we are having in the data analytics space. And the last we've seeded is a business on cloud services and InfoSec consulting. And for us, as we move from a 3 vertical to a 6 vertical business model, we are looking at taking all these e-governance stacks global, and especially work with developing countries which are looking at contributing and building towards digital public infrastructure. So that in essence is the 360-degree model of the company.
Wonderful, sir. Now help us a little bit more into detail. How do you earn money with these authentications, transactions, anybody inquiring for an authentication, whether it is an individual, maybe a government entity? How do you really make money? Is it with every transaction, every authentication requirement that you do so? And what is the growth opportunity here, sir?
Sure. It's actually a very right point. Our business is largely transactional. So I would say around 85% of our business is transactional in nature. And there is a 15% component, which is annuity. So the transactional business, I will just split it. When we look at the taxation business, it's largely a business to consumer sort of model, a B2C. It is the individual who is applying for the PAN card. They pay a transactional charge. Any changes in the PAN card details are also chargeable. And likewise, any sort of reprint of cards. So it's a completely transactional model over there. Likewise, when we look at our pension business, where there is a component of annuity, part of the business runs on transactions. For every new pension account, we have a charge, and we earn at the same time on the total aggregate pension database or account.
Okay. All right, I think there is some technical glitch again. We are unable to get your audio, Mr. Sethi. Could you try and say what you were continuing to say? All right, I think there is some technical glitch. We'll try and figure that out. But just like how Mr. Sethi was explaining to us, a lot of the business is transactional in nature. Anytime a viewer or a user really goes ahead and tries to authenticate their Aadhaar details, PAN card details, transactional, that is the time when the company goes behind, and that is what really helps company earn money from there as well, largely working with the government to create the IT services or the digital infrastructure for government services that the government really provides. So definitely, and going forward from a 3-way model in terms of revenue contribution, going on to a 6-way model as well. So the opportunity of growth over there is also multiplying. We'll try and connect back with him when we can, but overall Protean eGov Technologies, strong IPO subscription figures so far, strong retail interest as well, strong NII interest as well, and the IPO is going strong at this point in time. We'll continue to get you all the insights from the management in just a bit as well. Many thanks for tuning in onto this special edition in the meanwhile.
Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us here on BTTV. Coming to you, Anas, first, you said that this, year is a record year